I love you, Henry, but Warhammer is not the get that you think it is. Welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis as I break down, hopefully, my final video of James Gunn versus Henry Cavill, the horrible decision James Gunn and the DC Universe has made by getting rid of the old universe, particularly the actor Henry Cavill, which I took personal offense to. If anyone's been looking at my Twitter, I've had a non-stop hashtag Fire James Gunn fest over there, and I'm having a ball. This is a good time. It's fun to hate on this dude because he did something so utterly stupid. And, you know, that's my opinion. If you have a rival opinion, that's cool. I respect you, man. Some of my best friends in this business don't agree with me at all. They love this hard reboot, and I respect that. And, you know, I love them for it. But I want to talk about what Henry Cavill should be doing. And before we get into the details, you know I'm going to need you to like this video, subscribe to this channel, ring that notification bell, and keep tuning in to Voice of the Fat Mantis for more of my bad takes, shenanigans, and all the nerd news that's fit to print. Now getting into it. Last night in my live stream, I was all about James Gunn, and this whole situation dominated the conversation. The question is, what should Henry Cavill do next? And I'm going to offer a few suggestions other than his Warhammer get. I'm happy he's working. I'm happy something's going to happen. But I normally, that's a property I would never watch in a million years. I'm going to check it out now that he's involved. But here's some options he has that I think he should take up. The first one is Hyperion. Hyperion is a thinly veiled version of Superman, an evil version of him, who is from the Squadron Supreme, who is also a thinly veiled version of the Justice League. They were Avengers villains, very lowbrow, and really just there to make fun of the Justice League. If you were to play Hyperion, he'd probably start off in Thunderbolts. I know what you're thinking. We know who the Thunderbolts are. They've already announced it. Not actually so. Originally, there was supposed to be another piece of artwork who was there in that pile of the cadre of villainy there. And it was supposed to be the Eternals' Icarus, an evil version of Superman who went the wrong way. Unfortunately, they removed him because they did not want to move further with more Eternals properties. Now, we're going to see some of their characters throughout the Marvel Universe, but I don't think they wanted to be quick to advertise his existence or his connection. Now, if they're looking for an evil Superman, they could do this Hyperion character. It would be a callback to Superman, and it would be just a lot of fun for the fans. I think a Hyperion, which would later on lead to a Squadron Supreme movie, literally a badass version of the Justice League, mocking the Justice League movies and how they're not very good, would be brilliant. The thing is, the boys got to it first. Although the boys first appeared way after Squadron Supreme, the boys already do it, and they do it wonderfully. And if Marvel isn't willing to go that dark, which I promise you they're not, they're never going to be able to pull it off. Ever. They never go that dark. As a matter of fact, they're in a Disney phase where they're redeeming their villains, which is disgusting in my opinion. And I don't know if they can pull this off, but it would be interesting. Another attempt that they could do is another thinly veiled Superman, which would be Sentry. Now, Sentry was a heavy hitter for the Avengers throughout the 2000s. He's a pretty big character. And although he gets his powers from an incredibly juiced up, both magically and scientifically advanced version of the super soldier serum. That's right, they're trying to make someone 100 times more powerful than Captain America. They accidentally made one 1,000 times more powerful. They create Sentry. He gains his powers from the sun. He's got all the vanilla powers such as eye blast, super strength, invulnerability, flight, and he's just an all-around badass. Another funny thing about him is he has been arrested multiple times because he has multiple personality disorder. The serum has made him nuts. His main evil personality is called Void, a dark version of him who gains his powers from the absence of light. And when that personality comes out, it's always trying to destroy the planet. That would be a lot of fun, seeing this type of evil, insane twist on Superman. And once again, that's not the only thing Henry Cavill can play, but it certainly would be fun to watch him play it. We all know he looks good in tights, so he should go for it. Now, the next one is kind of odd, off the wall, but a lot of people in my chat were discussing it. They think Dr. Doom. Now, I would love to see if he could pull off an Eastern European accent, But the bigger problem I have is Henry Cavill is known for his good looks. Are you really going to put a man like that under an iron mask? And if they don't, then that's not Doctor Doom. Early 2000s Fantastic Four made that mistake. They didn't want to go full Doom because they were cowards. Whoever they get for him, who should be Hamish Linkletter, by the way, needs to be willing to put his face under a mask. That is my take on that. But I think a lot of people would like to see this. I suggested Mr. Fantastic. I know it's insane. A jacked Mr. Fantastic. It would be different, but fun, wouldn't it? Next, we have Captain Britain, another character with Superman powers, aka vanilla powers. Flight, super strength, invulnerability, occasional energy projection under the right circumstances, whenever writers need it. And also a connection to the X-Men. Now, Captain Britain is famous for not only being not the leader, but the strongman for Excalibur, a place where a lot of X-Men ended up going after the main cast of characters got blown up. It's a long, crazy story. However, he is also the twin brother of Psylocke, Betsy Braddock. And for a while, she had the mantle of Captain Britain. Now, Captain Britain is normally a blonde, just as Sentry is. But whatever, the wrong hair color has never stopped casting before. But he certainly has the chops, and we could finally hear him in his British accent. Might actually just work. Plus, this is another step forward to the X-Men franchise. Next on our MCU list is the Beyonderer. And a lot of you don't know who the Beyonderer is because he's never had a comic other than Secret Wars. Now, this is the cosmic being who created the Secret Wars. Now, he was very 80s. He had Jerry curls, sprayed it all the time. Long, Jerry curls, even going into the mullet Jerry curl situation. And he wore white jumpsuits with a popped collar. It was, a strange time. He looked like he was coming straight out of the discotheque for a white man. But I will say, for an updated look, Henry Cavill has what it takes. And we all know they're headed towards Secret Wars, so maybe that's the role he was meant to play. Next, and this is a total out of the blue crazy suggestion, the Silver Surfer. If you think about it, a lot of mainstream characters, I think they've already casted or have claimed to have cast all the major ones. We've got a Wonder Man coming out. We've already got our Doctor Strange and our Namor. And, there aren't a lot of characters left that really are significant unless they want to start casting Speedball or some other Z-level heroes. But I would say the Silver Surfer is the way to do it. He's the last of the important heroes. It would certainly be a departure from early 2000s Fantastic Four, who casted an incredibly slender, frail-looking Silver Surfer, having a jacked one as he flies through the cosmos, pondering his existence and your existence as well. It's perfect. I think he could play Darth Plagueis the Wise. Hear me out. Hear me out. Basically hitting up the major franchises is what actors do when you're an A-lister at this point. You hit up a superhero for a little while. You hit up Star Wars for a little while. You do some indie stuff here and there. You go all over the place. Just look at the career model of Adam Driver. There's nothing wrong with being a handsome man who is also a Jedi or a Sith in this matter. We've been dying for some Darth Plagueis the Wise content, and I think he could do it. Now, whether they're going to still make him that species, the Mund or whatever, which I think was decanonized when they changed, when they sold to Disney, I do not know if they're going to continue on that. All I know is that it would be pretty cool making him not only an important Sith, but a great Sith Lord. Henry Cavill, which I think he could also pull off, not just a Sith Lord, but some sort of vampire, maybe Dracula himself. I don't know. I think that an interesting take on it would be to cast him as James Bond. Now, as superhero movies has come out and action has hit a level where our heroes are flying and throwing cars at each other and shooting eye blasts, it's at the point where we need Bond less. Trust me, I'm a big James Bond fan. I love James Bond movies. However, for action movies, we prefer our action scenes super powered. However, the franchise is still kicking. It's still 100 millionaire in terms of box office. People do watch it and people are interested in it. However, there is a certain level of prestige from playing Bond that I think Henry Cavill or anyone could really get. It's almost like you have really made it as the ultimate suave, handsome man if you can play a Bond. It's a small fraternity of people that started off with Sean Connery. I mean, that should be more than enough. Many of these guys have been knighted before. It's a big step, and it would fix him in for at least 2 to 5 movies. That would be pretty awesome. But there you have it. There are roles that I think Henry Cavill should jump on as soon as he has the opportunity, and we need him in one of these major franchises so he can give a big F you to James Gunn, who honestly should be fired. Hashtag fire James Gunn. I've got a couple more days of tweeting that out. I'm going to just constantly keep tweeting it. A couple more days, and then I'll switch topics. Unless I still feel sore about it. But honestly, really dumb mistake, James Gunn. I can't wait for your DC universe to burn. But those are my picks. Who are your picks? Please let me know down in the comments. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, ring that notification bell, and keep tuning in to Voice of the Fat Mantis for all the DC, Marvel, Star Wars, and nerd news that's fit to print. Until next time, ciao for now.